Got one more coming in. Let her in. But Miss Amy is joining us. All right. Can everybody see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. So here's the practical purpose for these Wednesday webinars. It is to educate and empower entrepreneurs and business professionals with realistic tools that are tried and true, technologies, philosophies, and protocols designed to help them become more successful with advertising, marketing, masterminding, networking in your everyday business and life. That pertains to us all. So I'm going to start it off with how to optimize your feature speaker presentation. Part one. As Mr. Lawler and I spoke about, some of these things will have to be broken up into different parts because there's no way we can give you all of the information that you need from your individual businesses in 1 hour. So, how to optimize your feature speaker presentation. So, you have a couple of public speaking artists right here on the screen, Dr. Jim, otherwise known as Dr. James Redford Powell, Mr. Isaac D. Coleman, and Dr. Audrey Ilion. Public speaking is an art, but it's also a science. I'm going to go over some of the scientific methods and artistic approaches to get your feature speaker presentation optimized so that you're successful with it. 3 main steps. Here's an overview. Number 1, preparation. Step 1 is preparation. This is the vital lifeblood of your feature speaker presentation or any public speaking that you may engage upon. Determine the length of time. How much time do you have? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour? Determine that ahead of time to prepare what you're going to be talking about, how you can make your subject matter as concise as you need, and to get all of the important matters covered. Decide if you want a PowerPoint presentation or other props. This is vital because you need to have all those in a row, lined up and ready to go well before your presentation. If you're just going to stand there and talk, you don't need a PowerPoint presentation, great. You don't need access to electricity or TV. Depending on the venue or where you're going to be speaking at, you want to check ahead of time. What do they have to offer and what do you need to bring to get your presentation covered? Invite family, friends, colleagues, clients, vendors, and more. Most of us here know that feature speaker presentations are done often inside of professional networking organizations and mastermind groups like our own. But this pertains not just to standalone feature speaker presentations. This is for any of your public speaking engagements. One great reason you want to invite these types of people, not only for support of your speaking, but some of them can give great testimony as to your business, as to what you deliver, as to your results. So you want to have those people in the room or in the venue and ask them ahead of time. Let them know what you're going to be speaking about and ask them what are they ready and willing to give testimony on. Number 2, step 2, the 3 C's of public speaking. I call them the 3 C's of public speaking. Have you ever heard of be clear, concise, and charismatic? Anybody ever heard of that?
Yes.
Okay. So is that the three C's of public speaking? Mr. Misi, Mrs. Connie.
No, that's not it. You told me the three C's before.
Okay.
See-
Okay. So that's not
see-
it. You think that's not it? Okay. Miss Narcisse, is this not the three C's of public speaking?
Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
Dr. Jim,
It's what
in
I
your,
use.
I'm sorry.
I said it is what I use.
Okay. Dr. Jim, how about you, sir?
Yeah,
You've been speaking for 40, 50 years?
that's about right.
What
Back right?
what
Okay.
what Mr. Isaac, it was the I remember the clear and concise. It threw me off with the charismatic. So you're absolutely right.
Okay. Mr. Lawler, what say you, my expert marketing genius?
I'm with Jim on that one. It's about right. I've never heard charismatic, but it never hurts to be charismatic.
All right. Well, you all, it was a trap. I'm sorry. Being clear and concise and charismatic in public speaking, that's a good way to give a good speaking, a good talking, a
Yeah.
good presentation. It is, but it's not the best way. Number one,
Oh man,
you need to be competent.
that's it.
Competent. Why? I need to be able to stand up and actually articulate what I'm doing, what I'm good at, how I help my people. Your audience will see, your clients will see, your prospects will see. Are you actually competent in this matter? Are you the man or woman to help me with this? Be competent on what you're talking about. Be okay with being fact checked because you should be fact checking yourself. Be competent. That's the number one thing we need to be able to do. A great Canadian psychologist, Dr. Jordan Peterson, says when you're standing up there public speaking, you have to pull out of your head everything that you're trying to say and convey. And it's that most experts, when we're up there on that stage, we know 50 times more than what we're just speaking on. But we have to be so good at the little bit that we're talking about, we have to be incredibly competent in that area. I agree. Number two is confidence. Be confident. You must be confident in your competence. If you're competent in the subject matter that you're speaking on about your business or your product or services or what you offer or can do, there's no reason in the world you should not be confident. Because again, that will also kill sales. Mr. Law is going to get with us in a minute on being concise, but that goes very much so in confidence as well. If a client or prospect sees you hesitating and you're not really sure about what you're saying, or you're second guessing yourself, whether you're on stage or whether you're one-to-one or in a group setting, they can sense it, they can feel it, they can see it, and that will kill your sales. If you are competent, do not doubt yourself. If you know that you're good at what you do, you should be very confident. And here's the one most public speakers miss. Be compassionate. I must have compassion about what I'm talking about. Sure, I've got the competence. I'm intelligent in the subject matter of what I'm speaking on, and you can see this. Wonderful. So you know that I know what I'm talking about. I'm confident in it. I'm charismatic. I'm presenting it like I know it, and I do know it, and I've got perhaps the history to prove that I know what I'm talking about. But I also must be compassionate. Where is the emotions and feelings in what I'm talking about? What is my purpose and what am I talking about? Am I talking about how I serve my people, what I provide? Can people see that I really care about this? The founder of BNI, Dr. Ivan Meisner, always says this. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So when you're up there on the stage or you're in a group setting, you're giving a presentation, people need to see that compassion in you. You know, for many years now, my clients always tell me, Mr. Isaac, you really care about your clients. That's one reason why I show up all the time. That's why I show up year after year, because you care about me. And I want to care about me as much as you care about me. That's fire. That is what you need. That is what you want. If you can convey that in a feature speaker presentation or public speaking engagement, you will win. Lastly, but certainly not least, number three, your realistic feedback. Your realistic feedback. After you've embodied the three C's of public speaking, ask yourself, what did attendees say or not say? What was your positive feedback? What did haters say? Because there's going to always be negative feedback. If you think that you don't get any negative feedback, that means you didn't do a good enough job. You should always have a lot of positive feedback, but there's always going to be one or two haters. Only that. Don't believe me? Ask the Holy Bible. It's always going to be one or two haters. If you do have that, then that means you did a good enough job because perhaps you ruffled some feathers or stepped on some toes and someone became jealous of you and your good works. Kudos. I always say this, if they hate, then indeed you are doing great. So keep doing what you're doing. What were your results? In other words, at the end of your feature speaker presentation, at the end of your public speaking engagement, did your call to action generate more clients or closed business? If you're speaking in a room full of business owners like what we do in our masterminding monthly memberships, like we do at the Reality of Networking International, once per month in person, you get to speak to all these people. But if you're doing a feature speaker presentation, everyone has your undivided attention. It's just you up there. When you get done, did you get a new client? Did you get a new referral? Did you get extra business for your business? That is a quality metric to truly determine how well you did at a feature speaker presentation. Did you convey, were you concise enough, clear enough to direct people on what you do and how you do it, who your ideal client is? Did you break these things down? If so, you should have no problem the next day, a week from then, or even a month from then, depending on your industry, closing new business. Because if you have the opportunity to speak in front of a crowd of people or a room full of people, you're expanding the reach of your business, of your brand. But you're also supposed to be expanding the revenue of your business, of your brand. Because if I talk to 100 people and they all applaud my presentation, but none of them do business with me, I can't take those applause and go and pay the bills. Revenue pays the bills. So that's one great quality metric to live by for your feature speaker presentations, ladies and gentlemen, and something you can use for scoring, grading any of your public speaking engagements or your talks in a group setting and so forth. I remember back in BNI, I used to be in BNI, and I gave a feature speaker presentation. Mr. Sharp was there. He saw it. After my feature speaker presentation, not only did I get an extra client for the clinic in which I worked for, but I even got one of the visitors to join our group to start doing business and networking with us as well. That is a great quality metric. Am I presenting this in a way that you know what I'm talking about, you know who I serve, and I have invoked something in you to connect me to a referral? And I close that business. And somebody else in the room goes, you know what? I want to be a part of something like this. And they join too. That's powerful, ladies and gentlemen. So now I yield the floor and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. However, I am going to introduce one amazing, great entrepreneur and business professional. Today, I have the honor to introduce Mr. Don Lawler. of storytellers and brand aid. Branding that sticks. If you confuse, you will lose. That's a famous quote by Mr. Don Lawler himself. Mr. Don Lawler can help you tell a better story to grow a better brand. Mr. Don is a national award-winning writer, producer, and director, and has told stories on radio and television for over 40 years, ladies and gentlemen, while working with celebrities, athletes, speakers, marketers, and Fortune 500 companies. Today, he helps entrepreneurs tell their brand stories and create standout brands. He does it with brand strategy, messaging, broadcasting, broadcast quality video, photography, and coaching. Clients have included companies like FedEx, Chevrolet, Train, Pfizer, Xlax, GlaxoSmithKline, Medtronic, Microport, Marriott, Boy Scouts of America, Come and Get It Dog Food, Rebel Books, Stroh's Beer, Haverty's Furniture, National Tire Warehouse, and hundreds of small businesses just like yours. Mr. Lawler served as a president of the Columbia School of Broadcasting and also helped launch 12 successful companies. He was vice president of marketing at Genesis Treatment Centers, where his strategy increased revenue by 237% in 6 months, and vice president of marketing and co-founder of HealthStream, where he raised $30 million for an IPO. Mr. Lawler helped launch a full power television station, manage a multi-million-dollar media center, and an international broadcasting ministry, reaching 36 countries. Mr. Lawler is a certified guerrilla marketing coach and was mentored by Mr. J. Conrad Levinson, creator of the Marlboro Man, Jolly Green Giant, Pillsbury Doughboy, and Tony the Tiger, and participated in marketing masterminds and marketing courses with experts including Zig Ziglar, Jay Abraham, Dan Kennedy, Donald Miller, and Fabian Fredrickson. Branding with Pia Silva, and personal branding training with Jamie Swanson and Jesse Wyman. Without a doubt, Mr. Lawler has demonstrated a history of adding value while working in the broadcasting, media, marketing, advertising, and videography industries. If you want to up-level your brand, have a better strategy, and tell a better story, call Mr. Don Lawler of Storytellers and Brand Aid, branding that sticks. So please put your hands together for my co-host, the gentleman who's going to help take your business to the next level, Mr. Don Lawler.
Wow. Who is that guy? Oh, I remember my youngest granddaughter last year. She was 12. In the back of the car, and she said, "Don, Don," that's what they call me. Don, Don, you sure have done a lot of stuff. And that's true. I tell some people sometimes you can do a lot if you work 24/7, so and don't sleep. But yeah, I've had a very blessed time, and I've enjoyed what I do, and enjoyed mostly helping people succeed. So, and I've learned, all this stuff is not because I discovered it on my own. I have discovered some things on my own, but I've had some great mentors. And Isaac did mention some of those people. Years ago, I started out as a journalist and news reporter for the first 5 years. And then I went back to school, became a broadcast engineer. And if most people haven't even heard that. I've got engineers in the building here; they never heard of that. But you actually are in charge of the station, even over the general manager. If something goes wrong and he doesn't want to do it, or she doesn't want to do it, you can pull the plug because it's a federal license, and I can actually be chief engineer of any station in the United States. So I did that for a few years, and I found the love of my life, which was producing and creating, and I had a wonderful team at WHPQ, and we won some of the top awards in the country over a. Well, I was there 7.5 years, for about a 6 year period there. We were just really, really doing well, and that introduced me to um, the creative side of things. You know, I'm good at writing and that sort of thing, being a journalist, but it really helped me start getting more creative, using my tech skills and my writing skills to produce commercials. I fell in love with commercials and producing programs. So that's kind of what my basis was. But I absolutely hated salespeople. The sales department drove me nuts because we were on tight deadlines to get all these commercials out and programs. I was responsible at one time for 28 programs at one station during a month, and it's just a lot of work and a lot of pressure. And they drove me nuts coming at the last minute. We got to get this commercial on by the 5 o'clock news. And I gave him my little speech, you know. But I met Zig Ziglar at a sales conference. I went with the sales department. It's rare for a production director to get to go with the sales department. But I met Zig Ziglar and we became friends. I actually ended up producing commercials for him for a while. And I learned a lot. And he exemplified a Christ-centered guy who really wanted to help people get what they wanted or needed. And he had a saying, you can get anything in life if you want, if you help enough other people get what they want. And that was stuck with me. And that was the beginning of my journey into sales and marketing. And I'm a student of sales and marketing and have been since 1980. And I don't, you never stop learning. You always are learning something new. Things change, tech changes, people change, whatever. But I've tried to stay up. But I'm trying to think. I was around 46 when I was ran into. I'd started studying books by J. Conrad Levinson. I'll tell you a little bit about him in just a second. About 1983-ish, I believe it was, and he was an award-winning uh, creative director at a major ad agency up north, near New York, and he was doing, all sorts of things. But he was very creative, and he came up, and you don't know his name, but he has written over 30 books. He is taught in MBA courses in colleges around the country, and he was actually ended up being a professor at, I think it was UCLA. But you'll know his work: The Marlboro Man, Jolly Green Giant, Pillsbury Doughboy, and the list goes on. There's like 13 characters that you see at the grocery store or wherever all the time. And I had been reading his books for a while, and I can't remember the exact year, but it was probably in the early 90s or late 80s. I can't remember exactly. I had to go back and look at my diploma. But anyway, it ended up that I got to, he put out a call. He wanted to teach a group of people and certify them to help people as coaches. And I did the certification. I never became a coach and charged for that. But what I did was I used what I knew to help my clients. And I just gave it away. And that helped me build my business. People would always say, "Oh gosh, you got to talk to Don." Call Don, call Don. And that's really how I built my business. Over time, I built 11 of my own, and then I sold my ad agency to Genesis Treatment Centers, and they had a problem. I went in. They were one of my clients, and that's how we got to talking. And I walked in one day and to just do a checkup, and Bob Rouse, the president of Genesis, said, "Don, I don't understand why I've hired 5 marketing directors, and our numbers just don't move. We aren't getting anywhere. And so I said, well, Bob, I don't know. Tell me a little bit about what the problem is, what you perceive it to be. And so anyway, we talked a little bit, and he said, do you know anybody who would be a good director? And I was just kind of in a mood. I was getting tired of dealing with my ad agency trying to, collect money and stuff like that. And I just thought, why not me? And he looked at me and said, "Whoa, are you kidding me?" I said, "No, no, let's do it." And so he said, "Okay." So I came in the first 2 weeks. I said, "Bob, just let me walk around and talk with people and see what's going on." Now, Genesis, I worked in the Memphis office, but it was 6 hospitals across the 5 states in the Southeast. And their numbers just weren't moving. They're great people. It was a Christian psych hospital day treatment program, and I talked with people. I kind of got a feel for what was going on, and this is right after the Gulf War had started. So I was kind of in that, watching TV and seeing what was going on. So I just at this time I had not been trained by Jay at this point. But I had I had read enough of his books that I kind of knew what was going on. I just thought, okay, I got to do something different because every one of these guys I knew 2 of them, and he had over a 5-year period, had one a year, new people, and I knew 2 of the guys, and they were both excellent guys, and they worked hard, and they did what everybody else in that industry was doing. So I had to do something else, and this is where guerrilla marketing came in. Now, if you think about guerrilla warfare, you've got it's a small group of people trying to take on a big group of people by jumping out of the bushes and whacking them on the head and jumping back in. You got to do something different. You got to hit them by surprise. You got to do something different because you're not big enough to fight the big guy. And we're all small businesses, and I love small businesses. I was fortunate enough to work with some major Fortune 500 companies, but I don't get the warm and fuzzies I do from talking with people just like me, 1, 2, 3-person shops. And that's where my heart is, my passion is. But what I did for them was I thought, okay, let's just run a guerrilla warfare. Okay. And so I talked to Bob. I said, can you give me a little budget? And we'll take the cafeteria one day. I want all the doctors and the support people for the doctors to come in, and I'm going to feed them pizza, and I'm going to give them a little surprise. I told Bob what it was, and what I did was I put American flag. Who many people have watched the movie Patton with George S. Patton? The flag on the wall. I got a big old flag. I went down to I can't remember the name, Mr. Lincoln's costume shop here in Memphis. Rented a George Patton outfit with a pearl pistol and the whole thing. And honestly, people who really know me, I'm more of an introvert, really. I've learned over a lot of years to kind of talk and exert, walk into a room and be fine now. But boy, before I was very shy, and so shy that my mother-in-law used to say, "Does he ever talk?" He sits and reads a book while everybody else is talking. But in a business context where I'm comfortable, I'm pretty gregarious sometimes. So, but here's what I did. I set up teams. I gave them a big speech, and we're going to whoop their butts and all this kind of stuff. And then I set up teams where each doctor had their normal team anyway, right? So I made them like red team, blue team, green team, yellow team, purple team, whatever. And we had goals that we needed to reach in order to get more patients into the hospital, right? To both day treatment and in hospital for psych and things like that. So I set up game rules and fed them pizza, and they got all excited. One of the things I learned in my research, and research is very important for your business on your customers. I found out that doctors are very and they are trained with a Rogerian thought process, so they're not competitive and want to do things, out of the norm for the medical field. But personally, I find them to be very competitive, or they would have never made it through med school, right? Or to become a psychologist, even. So I put the teams together. I met with them individually as teams and gave them some marching orders, so to speak, and some battles that we needed to win. And then what we did over a period of time was it was about 6 months. I would take them out and feed the winning team, and we'd take them to a nice restaurant once a week on a Friday. They got off from work, and somebody covered for them, and we went to a nice restaurant and had a lot of fun. And the big goal was the winning team for the year would get a cruise. so so first of all, you have to motivate them. Whatever you have as your tools to motivate them, do that. But it worked out really well. And in 6 months, I had sales up 370. What was it? 367. I can't remember the number. 327. 327. It was 327%. That's pretty good growth in 6 months. And then sometime later, I walked in. Bob said, "Great job. I sold it." I said, "Sold what?" They sold all the hospitals, all 6 of them. So anyway, long story short, that's how I ended up going to start HealthStream. HealthStream is now one of the largest healthcare information companies in the world on the NASDAQ. My goal was to raise $20 million plus get people like hospital supply companies, any business that wanted to be in front of other doctors and medical people. And that was my job. Now the model has changed since we sold it to Humana, and then they sold it. Then they took it public, and so now it's on the NASDAQ today. So short story for a short lesson of guerrilla marketing in action and where it can go. What I'm interested in tonight is really to learn more about you and what you're trying to accomplish. And just to make it simple, just if you will just introduce yourself, tell me a little bit about your business, and where you're stuck. I want to take that and then give you some tools for future meetings. So could we open it up, Isaac? Who would like to go first?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's have our resident visitor, who's also a brand strategist.
Uh-huh.
She does things a little bit differently than you, but
Uh-huh.
Miss Narcisse Nikki Taplin out in Texas.
Oh,
Uh, let's
cool.
have, let's have her go first. Yes, sir.
Very cool. Can I see your face? I am a brand strategist, but uh, that's what Brand Aid's all about.
I'm sorry, I had stepped away to get some water. What was the question?
Oh, okay, tell me just a little bit about your business, how long you've been doing it, and where you find yourself stuck right now.
Oh, okay, great questions. First of all, great intro. And I'm actually not a brand strategist, I'm a brand architect. So what I do is I build brands from the inside out.
Okay.
Currently, I am not stuck anywhere. I am working very closely with clients and increasing their visibility and doing the same thing for them that I do it myself.
Okay.
No,
Okay. Is there some place that you're having a little problem that you'd like to address in the next few weeks?
not at this time. I'm clear. Not at this time. I'm clear.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Great, great. Well, being a brand strategist, you have a good feeling for the whole layout of branding and marketing and that sort of thing. Do you do any marketing or just brand strategy?
I do some marketing, but not much.
Okay.
Uh,
Now,
it's, I do
let me see
strategic. I
if I
do
understand.
strategic. I do strategic consulting along with my brand architecture.
Mhm.
So I don't really do marketing.
Okay.
I'm not a marketer. I'm a brand architect.
Okay. Okay. Now, in your brand strategy, are you doing the design and like websites and graphics and all of that? Or are you just giving them a plan that they can take and hire people to do those things?
I do not do websites. I do have website builders. I have people that I partner with.
Awesome.
Yes.
Good.
That's not my heavy lifting. My
Okay.
heavy lifting is in the architecture.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to hear a little bit more about that as we go along, but let's talk to someone else. Who else would like to uh, give me a little bit of background about yourself, your business, and if you're stuck anywhere that you'd like some help with?
Mr. Macy, how about you?
Yes, yes. Thank you. Um, well, my business is I have a brokerage firm, Family Values Group. I I partnered with my son, and we just started the brokerage firm last year, but I have been doing insurance for a while, but we have added a lot of other carriers and to the brokerage firm. So we're looking at being a recognizable name with our brokerage firm.
Hmm.
Um, and so that's one of the big things that we're working on is getting our name out there where
Hmm.
people will recognize the name when they hear it or recognize it when they see it. And we're just looking to just really grow and not just grow but to be just for ourselves but to grow so that we can bring other people along and that really want to grow as well.
Okay. Are you trying to get people across the country, or just your region or your city?
No, I can actually write in any state that I choose to. If I'm not licensed in those states, it takes no more than 7 days to be licensed in the states if I chose to.
Okay. How are you
But
currently reaching out and getting new customers?
well, right now, one of my strategies is anyone that I speak with, whether I write them or I don't write them, I am getting referrals from them. At that very moment, I don't, and so that's one of my biggest um, growing mechanisms is just the referral method, and I also I've been sending everyone that I speak to, I send them my website and I send them my Google review, um, so that they can the ones that we write that they can do a Google review. And even if we don't write them, if they've conducted business with us in some type of way, they can still do a Google review. So we've been building our Google reviews up because we do recognize that the more of those that you get, it pushes you up to the higher on the search engine when people are looking for things in our field.
Right, right. Okay. Are you using any other methodologies to reach people at this point?
Um, Other than of course I'm blind, so I'm totally phone over the phone, but I have just brought on some agents, two new agents in the last week. So the plan is to we're going to get out to more events. I've got a reason why this is a really great thing that you and Mr. Isaac are doing is because I have a rather big speaking engagement in Memphis on the last Saturday of this month. So this
Mhm.
is really helping me
Good.
with how I am going to present myself in front of this group of people. So I'm getting into more events. I've just got one with to speak in front of many pastors, and then I got another one coming up next month where I'll be speaking in front of the head of the housing authorities. Is it has will have a room full of people for me to come out and speak to. So I'm just I'm trying to make the events make sense, and be, um, because every event is not for every um, venture, for every career that you've chosen. So I'm being mindful of events, and I'm getting more events and stuff to get my name out there. And I have had some marketing tools created, and some flyers that are really great, and different people have asked for them, and I've sent them. And in fact, I've got to get you one as well, Mr. Isaac, and anyone else that wants one, and Mr. Don. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Great. Sounds good. And I'm going to brag you in a second. You do wonderful on calling people and talking on the phone. You're great at that. So
Thank you.
probably one of the better people I've ever gotten on the phone. You're awesome.
I
So
appreciate that.
yeah, well, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. Who else is on the call that would like to speak?
How about Mrs. Connie of Spotless Sentiment?
Here's Connie. Okay, Connie, tell me a little bit about yourself and your business. Tell me why you went into business.
I've always been an employee and working for other people, and I've always cleaned houses,
Mhm.
for family members, friends, or whatever. And I just thought it would be a good idea if I did start a business of my own. I retired as a chef, I retired as a truck driver, construction worker. I'm 70 years old. So,
You don't look it, dear. You really.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But yeah, I just want a new adventure. And since I already know what I'm doing, I'm on the ground floor. I'm trying to get it started.
Okay.
Um,
How's it going so far?
um, I already had a few customers,
Mhm.
and what the way I got my customer was word of mouth. You
Mhm.
know, my reputation was out there that I did a great job. So therefore, I kept getting customer after customers.
That's
I have
great.
I have got my business license and my EIN number. I
Mhm.
do have flyers and working on getting my business cards printed up. And, I've had a couple of meetings with different people. And right now, my clientele is around 20 people that I clean for.
You're doing really good. That's great.
Thank
Do
you.
you clean all those 20-ish people weekly, monthly?
Well, I have a few that's once a month. I
Mhm.
have some that's once a week.
Mhm.
It all varies.
Mhm.
Some, just want me like every other week, maybe
Right,
2 hours this day, maybe next week is 4 hours. It
right,
just varies on their time, their schedule.
right. Well, I remember in college, well, right out of college, I had a friend who, right out of college,
Mhm.
decided she would start a business doing that. And it was a ministry for her. And
Mhm.
she just retired and she's 70. I'm going to be 73 in a couple of months. She's 74. So, I mean, she did it since college and built a really nice business and so I think it's a needed thing. Uh,
Mhm.
do you pretty much know who your customer is? Or anybody?
Pretty much, yeah, since I've been cleaning for them for a couple of months. Yes, sir.
That's
I
good.
find it's therapy for me too because I don't have somebody standing over my shoulder,
Hmm.
watching my work or critiquing what I do or like, making me nervous. So they give me a key to their house or the codes to their door and I go in, I clean. If they say, okay, Connie, I only want you 3 hours a day, that's what I do. And sometimes I see that I need to go over a little bit, so I don't mind that. I mean, I've been cleaning my own house all these years, so
Hey, so you're a pro. You're an expert. Is there any that's kind of holding you back from getting where you want to go right now?
I don't think so. I think I'm a little nervous, a little scared of a new venture, but I'm willing to take it on, you know.
It's exciting.
It is exciting. It is.
It's exciting. Yeah, it can get scary, but if you got good
Absolutely.
friends and a good network, you can take care of it. Somebody's had it before. So, well,
And
that's
I've also, got backup. So if I do get more customers than I can handle, I have three more people that are willing to come on board and work for me.
right. So your vision is to scale and get more and have more people out there, or you just handle everything pretty much for yourself with a few people?
No, I would like to scale up. I really would.
I think that's a very scalable business.
I was a preschool teacher for a while, and I think there's a niche for housekeeping, you
Mhm.
know, cleaners, because more women are out in the field now,
Yeah,
along with their husbands, along with men, and they just don't have time, you
right.
know, and they love to come home to a clean house. It smells good, kick off their shoes, sit on the couch, eat bonbons, watch TV, and don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, that's what my wife does because I'm her housekeeper. I, yeah, I officially retired in 2012 at 59 years old, and I like to be busy, so I've dabbled with.
That's exactly how I am. I tried to retire and I'm like, okay, I worked all these years, let me retire. I've worked since I was 13 years old.
Me
And
too.
so, I sat around the house for about a week and I said, nah, not for me.
Yeah, I remember my dad wore a hole in the couch. He was the G&W at 59 and a half, like me, and and then he just sat there. Died finally at 93, but that is not that is not.
Uh,
Well, that's great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
you're,
I,
you're welcome.
I
Thank
haven't
you.
seen anybody else's face except for yours, so I'm looking right in your face, but now I'm not at the camera. So, I apologize, everyone, because I'm going up and down like this. So,
Oh,
We got about 5 minutes left, you all.
take
Let's go
5
ahead
minutes.
and let
Anybody else want to
Dr.
talk? Or
Jim,
Isaac, you want to take it over?
let's let Dr. Jim get a little airtime.
Yeah, Jim.
Dr.
Well,
Jim.
my publishing business kind of carries itself.
Hmm.
So my attention is moving to marketing. In fact, I've been doing a lot of studying of the guerrilla marketing, but um, really looking toward a major program for the marketing of my books. Now I've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 or 40 plus that are published.
Hmm.
And then this is works in conjunction with the school, the Institute of Applied Metaphysics. A lot of those books are used as text
Hmm.
in the institute, and of course, I've got the magazine that goes out each month to over 7,000. That's electronic magazine,
Yeah.
and I feature uh, someone. I've been featuring primarily people from our mastermind group in the last 6 months or so, but or in the last year actually. And so all the focus is looking at a major marketing program for those books to make those books a household name because they're I think exceptional. Anybody that's read one will tell you that. And um, what I've been looking at is establishing a marketing company exclusively for the Renford books.
Okay, a marketing company to do what for the Renford book?
Market the Renford books
Just to
exclusively.
Okay, why? Okay, let me back up. Instead of having a traditional publisher market it, is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm the publisher. I publish the books.
Hmm.
I've published books I have authors from coast to coast, and I market those books as well. But what I'm looking for is a situation where I can really promote the books, not just put them in a bookshelf. I'm not real keen
Right.
on
Right.
and so through the magazine, I have a very large YouTube site. I have 2 pages on Facebook, LinkedIn, uh,
Mhm.
but I'm reaching the point now that I'm going to need a really coordinated approach, and
Gotcha.
focusing most of my attention at the moment on how to fund that marketing company, which I'm
Got-
looking to do in the neighborhood of 250,000.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm missing something in that. I mean, why not just take the 250,000 if you have it, to get a marketing company that's what they specialize in to take care of the marketing
It's
for
the kind of material. This is metaphysical material.
it. Okay.
And those books when they get read, they get 5-star type of ratings. People will read the Father Confusers on
Mhm.
Amazon and say they pity person who hasn't read it. And,
Okay. Yeah.
you're very strong feelings on it. The
Right.
difficulty is in profiling. Normally, if you're writing in one genre, you can profile your reader,
Mhm.
but you can have somebody interested in self-discovery and becoming self-aware at 12 years old and at 112. So
Right.
it's and of all races. So it's kind of difficult to categorize them. I went to a bookstore when it was called Bookstar down on Highland and Pop,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was looking at Deepak Chopra's books, and they were all nicely set together, and same with Dwayne Dyer's, and mine were all over the store.
Yeah.
And asked the person in charge there, and she said, "Well, you've written in 7 different genres." It had crossed my mind. I'm not even sure I knew what a genre was.
Yeah.
I was writing to a specific market,
Right.
uh,
And that's good.
and so the rules of the game it's about the same 13 universal principles,
Mhm.
the same that Lao Tzu and Buddha taught and Jesus taught in the parables.
Yeah.
But I wrote one that's got that's really focusing on having your own business, entrepreneurship. So it's called the laws of material wealth.
Right.
Another is called the rules of the game. That's because a lot of people don't care what Jesus or Buddha had to say, but they're real interested in what Vince, Vince Lombardi and Lou Holtz and Bear Bryant had to say. So those are all quotes on the same laws, but instead of from religious leader, it's coming from sports figures. So there are literally 7 different genres.
Okay.
So uh, really, what's going to be required, I think, is some consultation with
Okay.
people like you.
I was just gonna say, I would like to talk with you. I've helped people do this type of thing before. So maybe we can talk. I just need to understand a little bit more about what you're doing specifically. And I read your books and I've looked into metaphysical things and stuff like that. And I don't know that I've seen it anywhere in a bookstore. Uh,
I mostly avoided bookstores,
yeah.
focused on marketing online, and on the website and everything. But if you go to amazon.com/author/Renford, you'll find
Mhm.
about 13 up there. We're in the process of putting them all up there and then on to Barnes and Noble. And some of these things need to be in place before we start spending money on marketing and advertising.
Right, right. Yeah, why don't we just get together and talk one day and let me see if I can understand a little bit more. I've packaged and done some things marketing wise to help a few publishers in the past. So maybe
Do you
I
have a
what you're doing because it's very different. And if I can help, I'm fine. Yeah,
yeah? If you can, you have my number, I think.
I
I
do.
have yours. But I don't have your address, but I could send you a package or drop off a package so you can kind of see what steps have been taken so far.
Okay,
And
okay.
of course, you can, if you go to YouTube and go to Renford Broadcast Network, you'll see there's close to 100 interviews up there,
Okay.
information on stuff that way. So there's a lot of steps that have been taken, but in my view, they're kind of uncoordinated.
Yeah, it sounds like you need a packaging.
Right. And I've been working there with Isaac on AI stuff. We put 20 of my books on his AI program and it read it in 8.8 seconds.
I know. I've been playing with it a little bit. I'm pretty blown away.
And they have come and it came back with a number of suggestions and things. So we have, you know, there's a lot of activity around this thing, but it's just not, in my view, it doesn't look like it can move much unless I put some funds behind it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do something. Well, I don't want to hold up because I'm sure we've run over the 5 minutes. I'm sorry, Isaac,
Yes,
but
sir. We're right at the 7:30 hour. So
yeah, it did help. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to turn it back to you. Anybody wants to call me, talk to me? You've got my information from Isaac. I'd love to hear more about your business. If I can help, I will. And if I can't personally, I'll send you somewhere because I know a lot of people.
Thank you.
perfect. Yes,
Okay.
sir. And Mr. Lawler, you've got everybody's Chamber Forge profiles that you've read over. So
Thank you.
most of them are not on the call tonight,
Mhm.
but perhaps next week some of them will be here,
Okay.
and that would be very helpful for them if you can already have read over some of their stuff again, and that way when they're talking to you, you'll know who this person is, what their business is, and so forth.
Yeah.
Of course, we got a few visitors here tonight who don't have Chamber Force profiles yet, but we will be in the process of getting some of the visitors with that as well.
Okay.
So absolutely. So before we close out, does anybody have any other questions for Mr. Lawler in respects to guerrilla marketing, what that is, or any questions for me regarding feature speaker presentations or public speaking? Go ahead now. We got about another good 5 minutes or so before we go ahead and wrap things on up.
I don't necessarily have a question, but Mr. Don Lawler, I will reach out to you because I do want to see if there's anything that can be done to help expedite what I'm, the process, which if I can do it. And Mr. Isaac, I wanted to just say this is a wonderful webinar, and I appreciate the invite. And once again, yeah, just to reiterate, no, to change what I said earlier, Mr. Isaac definitely did not teach me that clear and concise was the three C's. I I second guessed myself again. So but when I heard competent, I said, okay, yeah, that's it. I was wrong again. So but no, I appreciate that. I needed that. And now I've got it hook, line, and sinker. So I appreciate you doing this, and I look forward to seeing what the next webinars are about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's competence, confidence, and compassion. All right. Anybody got anything? Any questions or comments before we close out for this evening? Any likes, any dislikes, any love, any hate? No, just kidding. Anybody got anything?
Great webinar.
Thank you, our Texas diva. Thank you, thank you. Ms. Cunning, were you trying to say something? Because if so, your microphone is muted. Your microphone is still muted, Mrs. Cunning.
Is that better?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I would just personally like to say thank you to Mr. Isaac for he made me realize a dream that I didn't really think I had, and all his mentorship that he's doing for me. And he's gone above and beyond being a good friend and a mentor. And not only in my physical change, but also my mentality, my spirituality, just he just encompassed everything that I thought I wanted, wasn't sure how to grab it, but now I do. And I have more confidence. And yeah, I'm ready.
Beautiful.
Talk
Beautiful.
well.
Awesome.
Very
Awesome.
good.
All right. Ms.
Thank
Amy, you
you.
didn't get a chance to speak. I know she was getting off work shortly here. Ms. Amy, are you there? You got anything?
I am here. I have been listening. I have enjoyed. I'm actually currently still driving, so I have not made it in yet, but I did enjoy the webinar itself. So thank you again for the invite.
Beautiful. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Absolutely. And Miss Narcisse, Dr. Jim, you got anything before we close out?
I have nothing further to say. No, I just enjoyed the show.
The Bookman Show. There you go.
Good, good.
I co-sign that.
All righty. Well,
Thank you.
beautiful people, I love you all. Welcome back to Wednesday webinars. We'll see you back on here next Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Different topic, but remember, it's going to surround bettering you with your networking skills, bettering you with your marketing skills, enhancing your sales. Remember, expand your reach, expand your revenue. That's what it's all about. You all have a beautiful, blessed night. God bless everybody.
Bye
Love you.
bye.